White.
And I'm Avery Davidson. Thank you for joining us for This Week in Louisiana Agriculture, the only TV show bringing Louisiana farmers and consumers together every week.
The regular legislative session is over and the second special session is underway.
Legislators are working to fill a $600 million shortfall. The question now is whether agriculture can stay out of the crosshairs for cuts. Louisiana Farm Bureau Legislative Specialist Joe Mapes says agriculture has fared pretty well during the first special session and the regular Louisiana legislative session, where lawmakers focused on plugging significant budget holes in funding TOPS, road construction, and health care. Despite new tax increases and removal of some tax exemptions signed into law by Governor John Bel Edwards, Mapes says that tax exclusions affecting agriculture survived the chopping block.
We were able to keep in place most of the tax exemptions that keep agriculture competitive in the worldwide industry. Segueing into the regular session, we didn't have as many issues in the regular session as we did, quite frankly, in the special, but we managed those issues very well. Some of them were water issues, some of them were expropriation issues, other were trespassing issues. We dealt with them all. Very proud of how we came out in this session. LSU Ag Center kept that budget as whole as we could. We took some losses there. Like to have done better than we did, but we did as well as we could considering the conditions.
Going into this third session of the legislature, Governor Edwards is hoping legislators approve a, quote, long-term plan that is worthy of the people of Louisiana, while the second special session will address the remaining $600 million shortfall for the fiscal year that begins on July 1st. Mapes explains that he cannot guess how agriculture could be impacted moving forward.
There's been discussion about, this particular type of tax possibly being increased or that particular type of tax being increased, or tax exemptions being removed or decreased. And again, we're not sure what these items in the call will allow as far as pieces of legislation to address just that. So AJ, I'm not going to speculate on that.
Governor John Bel Edwards intends to raise revenue to fully fund the budget for fiscal year 2017, including top scholarships, higher education, K-12 education, as well as safety net hospitals.
There is a new crop insurance program for one of the most important crops in Louisiana, sugarcane. The USDA's Risk Management Agency recently approved the new program following hard work by the American Sugarcane League and the Louisiana Farm Bureau Federation. American Sugarcane League General Manager Jim Seamall says it corrects deficiencies in previous plans and involved input from growers. Seamall also credits Louisiana's congressional delegation for urging the USDA to implement the program. Sugarcane has traditionally struggled to find equal footing among other commodities when it comes to disasters, as it just does not operate the same way as other commodities.
Louisiana rice farmers have another partner in their conservation efforts. Ducks Unlimited is working with the USDA's Natural Resources Conservation Service to administer the Regional Conservation Partnership Program. Hopes are this program will provide clean habitat for migratory birds.
This is what hunters hope to see every duck season. Birds in flight, gathering in flooded rice fields. Since the 2014 Farm Bill, the Natural Resources Conservation Service has been able to work with groups like the USA Rice Federation and Ducks Unlimited to help farmers maintain habitat like this through the Regional Conservation Partnership Program.
RCPP is a partnership program where NRCS partners with the Office of Soil and Water and the Soil and Water Conservation Districts in the local parish, and then they partner with outside agencies such as Ducks Unlimited. And these outside agencies come in and partner with the soil and water districts in the local community and the NRCS office, and they bring in additional revenues to help put conservation on the ground.
Ducks Unlimited, the world's leader in wetland and wildlife conservation, applied and was accepted through NRCS a Regional Conservation Partnership Program. And what this is a conservation program where financial and technical assistance is available to farmers and landowners.
Most of the assistance comes through the NRCS Environmental Quality Incentives Program.
We do practices such as irrigation land leveling, irrigation pipeline, grade stabilization structures or pipe drops, And then we also do management practices as well, such as irrigation water management, wildlife habitat for migratory birds, and we also do some nutrient management as well.
And because this is part of the RCPP, it's not just the federal government putting up the money and staff to make these projects happen.
RCPP in the South Louisiana, is really set up for rice producers. So here in Acadia Parish, it fits in perfect, being we're the #1 rice producing parish in the state.
District conservationist Cody Moe says it also works well because it allows NRCS to concentrate on rice farms in a specific area.
Between Ducks Unlimited and USA Rice, we have 4 targeted areas. We have one in Acadia Parish, which is the Lazy Point Canal area near Morse. We have a second one in Calcasieu Parish, the Indian Bayou watershed near Bell City and Homewood. We also have in St. Landrew Parish the Bayou Mallet watershed, just to the west of Opelousas, towards Eunice, and finally in Vermilion Parish, the Warren Canal area, which is southeast of Guédon.
Rice Stewardship Coordinator Kyle Swallow is known to rice farmers, having worked as an ag environmental specialist with the Louisiana Department of Agriculture and Forestry for most of his career.
Ducks need habitat, and if all the rice disappeared, an estimate would be it would cost $3 to $4 billion to rebuild the wetland habitat. So the more rice, the better for ducks.
It really is a great program. If you would like to learn more about the RCPP, visit our website at twilatv.org.
The National Cattlemen's Beef Board says if you are ready and willing, you should serve. That's the title of a new campaign to encourage involvement in the Beef Checkoff program. You probably know the Beef Checkoff from the slogan, "Beef, it's what's for dinner." But the Beef Checkoff goes beyond that. It's a development of new cuts of beef, working with national restaurant chains on special menu items using beef, to sponsoring our own Feasting on Agriculture segment. Amelia Kent sits on the Louisiana Beef Industry Council. She says it's imperative for people who raise cattle to be involved in the Checkoff program.
It's crucial for someone like me to have my voice heard relative to the investment of these checkoff dollars, because these dollars are investing in our industry. So especially someone that's young and planning on being a cattle producer, a farmer or a rancher for decades on out, you need to invest in your own industry. And that's what the checkoff dollars are doing. But by participating, by serving on the LBIC and by serving on the CBB, that actually allows you to have a voice and have your own input on how those dollars are invested.
Right now, Louisiana cattle ranchers give $1 per head of cattle sold to the Beef Checkoff. If you would like to learn more about the Louisiana Beef Industry Council, visit our website at twilatv.org.
This week, we finish up our series of stories profiling the 3 finalists for the Louisiana Farm Bureau's Young Farmer and Rancher Achievement Award. At its 94th annual convention, the Farm Bureau will name its top young farm couple.
And joining us now is TWILA's Carl Wiggers, who traveled to a very wet Grant Parish to catch up with Ryan and Danielle Yerby. And Carl, it is no surprise that on the day that we showed up to shoot their story, that it poured down rain.
It was a downpour almost from the time I got there. It was pouring before I got there, and then even after, it was all day, all day. Over the last few years, Ryan and Danielle Yerby have faced a lot of adversity on their farm. While they've battled everything from Mother Nature to the grain markets, the Yerbys have overcome it all and continue to thrive as a young farm family.
Ryan Yerby has the tractors rolling through the field under cloudy skies. Working around the weather has become common practice for Ryan and his wife Danielle here in Colfax, Louisiana.
Well, it's really gone from one extreme to the other. We went from drought conditions over the summer 2 years ago, then the flooding over last summer, and here just this past spring we got an early flood where it put several hundred acres that we farm underwater.
The last few years have been, my goodness, the easiest word to think of has just been scary, just rocky, just a lot of unknown. Like any other business gambles with customers or whatnot, you know, we gamble with Mother Nature, we gamble with markets.
The combination of bad weather and down markets have hit the Yerbys hard in the last few years.
Well, last year, naturally with the commodity prices being down, that we took a huge hit on that. But with the flooding early on, then getting into a drought stage after that, we had pretty substantial yield loss on top of it. Financially, it really kind of, it scared us.
Ryan and Danielle knew that it would take a new approach to farming for them to stay in business.
So we really had to adapt the way that we farm as a whole, trying to save money on fuel, save money on labor, save money on inputs. Just making those kind of finite changes is what actually kept us in the game and come back at it again this year.
Cutting corners with how we do business, from everything from here in the office to looking for cheaper fuel sources, possibly doing more work on time off. That way you don't have to pay an employee.
That work on time off means Ryan and Danielle find themselves in the field together, handling many of the day-to-day chores on the farm. Yerby is also utilizing new technology to get a better view of his fields from above. With his drone, Ryan can assess his crop in a whole new way. This is the view from above of some of the flooding that's plagued his farm in recent years.
I can actually, instead of being on the ground, I can sit there and see it from the sky and see exactly where we need to go.
While new technology and changing farm practices help their bottom line, this only gets the Yerbys so far. The rest comes from their faith.
Faith in each other and faith in his work ethic, and most of all, faith in the good Lord that we're thriving again.
There's not a farmer out there that doesn't farm on faith. You've got to have faith that we're going to make this.
When it's hard to have that faith, the young couple is driven to succeed by their 3-year-old daughter, Reagan.
She is our pride and joy. And to know that she can, at 3 years old, can tell you the difference between a combine and a sprayer and a track hoe, and those are heifers, but those are bulls, and that's the whole reason we're doing it.
Really, watching her grow up on the farm is why we work so hard to keep going. Watching her go outside and look at the cows, or we're going down into the field, and Daddy, look at all the corn. Look at the soybeans, Daddy. It's like the farm is already growing inside of her. And that's kind of our driving force of why we do this.
Hey, what do you want to be when you grow up?
While weather has been a constant struggle at Yerby's farm, the day we went to film the story, rain was actually a really good thing. He was able to turn off irrigation wells, and his corn and beans got watered the old-fashioned way. The winner of the Louisiana Farm Bureau YF&R Achievement Award will receive a $40,000 credit toward the purchase of a GM vehicle of their choice. They will also go on to compete at the American Farm Bureau Convention in January at Phoenix, Arizona. And Kristen, you went along with me on all three of these stories. Mm-hmm. One thing that all three couples had in common was they're great teams.
Mm-hmm. They did. They all worked really well together. The wives as well as the husbands were both really involved on the farm. I wouldn't want to have to pick it.
I'm really glad I'm not the judge.
No, but we're going to get to see all of that go down over the Louisiana Farm Bureau Convention, the 94th annual meeting in New Orleans, starting up, we go down there on June 21st and stay all the way through the 27th. But the big dates, of course, are that Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and then the Sunday with the voting delegates.
It's going to be fun.
It's going to be a lot of fun. Thanks a lot, Carl Wiggers. Well, still to come on TWILA, we break for breakfast at an Alexandria staple and feasting on agriculture.
But first, keep calm and dairy on. Trending on TWILA is up next. Stay with us.
In this week's Trending on TWILA segment, we take you online to see what people are posting about agriculture on social media.
June is National Dairy Month, and the ag community kicked off the celebration with lots of posts across social media.
The farmer's cow tweeted, "Keep calm and dairy on."
The American Farm Bureau Foundation posted an article with lots of fun facts about 5 of the most popular dairy foods.
The National Milk Producers Federation tweeted, "The best month of the year starts today. Grab a glass, we'll be celebrating for the next 30 days.
The Las Vegas Review-Journal posted a list of the 5 best places to celebrate Dairy Month in Las Vegas.
The Animal Ag Alliance tweeted, "Dairy Mythbusters to dispel the myth that dairy cows are milked all day long. They're actually only milked 2 or 3 times a day for about 5 minutes."
But one of my favorite posts comes from the Dairy Good Facebook page, where they produce an online program called Acres and Avenues. In this month's edition, a tattoo artist and a dairy farmer trade jobs for a day to learn more about the other's career. It's a fascinating series, and if you want to check it out, we posted a link to the video on our Facebook page and on our website at twilatv.org, and it's really great. The first one that they did was a boxer and a dairy farmer traded places, so it's really cool.
Huh.
Check it out.
That sounds utterly amazing.
That joke sounds utterly terrible. As per usual from you. Moving on to this week's TWILA Trivia. Last week I asked you, which of the following is not a subspecies of the tiger? And the correct answer is C, a striped Caspian. This week's trivia question is, milk reduces the amount of which substance in your saliva? Is it A, protein, B, acid, or C, bacteria? To enter this week's trending trivia contest, simply log on to your Facebook or Twitter account and post your answer with the hashtag TWILA Trivia, or you can always submit your answer on our website at twilatv.org.
You know when milk is best? For breakfast. And breakfast is said to be the most important meal of the day.
And for farmers and ranchers around Alexandria, the place they go for the perfect omelet is Lucille's Red Kettle. That's where we find AJ Sabine in this edition of Feasting on Agriculture.
Feasting on Agriculture with AJ Sabine is brought to you by the Louisiana Crawfish Promotion and Research Board. Louisiana Crawfish, ask before you eat. By the Louisiana Rice Promotion Board. Think rice. And by the Louisiana Beef Industry Council. Beef, it's what's for dinner.
Good morning, everyone. I'm AJ Sabine, and welcome to another exciting edition of Feasting on Agriculture. Today, we find ourselves in Alexandria, and if you're a farmer and you grow cotton or you raise cattle, there's only one place you go for breakfast. That's here at Lucille's Red Kettle. Just off MacArthur Drive in Alexandria, the glow of Lucille's Red Kettle restaurant welcomes both farmers and regulars alike. Longtime owner Lucille Campo doesn't mince words about serving her community.
I'm always in a bad mood.
Why?
Because I don't like people.
But you're in the people business.
No, ask people. They'll tell you I'm not good.
Well, there's a rumor going around that you're a bit of a witch. Why? Why do you say that you're a witch?
Because they put the Dougie instead of the beef.
Lucille's is known for its hearty breakfasts and comfort food. Today we're making steak and eggs, crawfish pie, and an omelet.
I get off the grill at 7, and then I go in the kitchen, and I'll start.
So what time do you get here in the morning?
3 o'clock in the morning.
What?
Yep.
That's crazy.
That's why I'm so happy when everybody gets here.
Meanwhile, in the dining room, the Red Kettle casts its own kind of spell on farmers who meet up for coffee before hitting the dirt. Cattleman Charlie DeWitt says Lucille's witchcraft on the grill has supported farmers through thick and thin.
Oh, it means a lot to it. As you can see, early in the morning we're here. You got farmers here, row crop farmers. You got cattle farmers here. Good place to meet, talk about things. Before it's all over with, it'll be a big political deal. And I promise you, we solve all the problems from the federal level all the way down to the local level.
I have farmers that come from Leesville, Baton Rouge. They repeat the ones that hadn't died. Some of them had the nerves to die.
I know, the audacity of them, huh?
Don't.
You have a good customer and then he just goes off and ups and dies on you.
God,
that's awful.
That is
terrible.
so hard to believe, you know?
What's your secret to your white gravy?
Love.
Love.
Love. Lots of love. And I put sausage in it. I put hamburger meat in it.
Check that out, folks. If that doesn't make you hungry, I don't know what will. And you heard Miss Lucille, this is all made with love.
All with love.
And guess what, Miss Lucille? I'm not going to die on you. Okay?
You better not. You're too young.
Thank you. I'm going to do my best.
God.
I'm not going to up and die on you. Because you know what? There's some money coming your way.
Oh, Charlie DeWitt thought he was going to die.
He did?
And I went to feeding him liver.
You did?
But I didn't tell his son. His son's a heart doctor. We didn't tell him. He just wondered why he lived.
Wow.
Oh, I love my people. They've been good to me. They've been so loyal to me. I came in here with no money. And they helped me get money. And they've been with me, except the ones that went and died.
Yeah, except those. All right, folks, you've seen it. It's made with love. I want to thank you, Miss Lucille, for having us. It's been absolutely great. Stick around, folks. We're going to taste this when we get back. There's a lot more to come on Feasting on Agriculture. Stay right there.
Well, thank you.
We're back. Thank you for sticking around. Miss Lucille joins us now. This food is absolutely beautiful. Tell folks what this is so they'll know.
Crawfish pie.
Crawfish pie. Now, this isn't your typical breakfast that you'll find here at Lucille's Red Kettle, but You got some special hours that people need to know about, like what time are you open and what time do you close?
From 5:30, 1:30, 5 days a week.
Come see Miss Lucille here at the Red Kettle. I'm gonna dive into this chicken omelet since you made it with love. Absolutely gorgeous.
You have to get some jalapeno peppers out of it.
Where are you? Did you hide them from me?
There you go. I just didn't spread it out.
So good. And this is what you need when you're getting ready to go work in the field or in the pasture to roast some cattle. A nice hearty omelet, would you say?
Yeah. Big steak.
So good. Look how beautiful that turned out, folks. Isn't that great? Well, again, Miss Lucille, thank you for having us on Feasting on Agriculture.
Thank you for doing it. I appreciate it.
You say you're not in a good mood, but you have been a great host for us today, and I want to thank you.
Well, thank you. I'm glad you think I'm in a good mood. I'm trying to stay in a good mood all day.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. That's all we have from here, folks. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time on Feasting on Agriculture.
Feasting on Agriculture with A.J. Sabine was brought to you by the Louisiana Crawfish Promotion and Research Board. Louisiana Crawfish, ask before you eat. By the Louisiana Rice Promotion Board, think rice. And by the Louisiana Beef Industry Council. Beef, it's what's for dinner.
It's June, and that means whether we're planning a summer vacation or working in the fields in the heat, one eye is always on the weather. We're already 3 named tropical storms deep this year, Kristen, and hurricane season just began about a week ago.
That is true. But however, it's not the rainfall that we need to be concerned with. Neil Malawsaw now joins us for this week's Bottom Line. And Neil, you say it's actually a pattern of dryness that the markets are worried about.
Right. It's weird with all this rain that we're thinking about this dry pattern coming up. But that's a dry pattern that we're looking at down the line. Speculators in the markets really aren't looking at the next 7-day forecast. They're looking at a possible La Nina weather pattern that may induce heat and dryness in August and September that could damage the soybean crop. Now, possible, may, and could. A lot of maybe words there. And if you've watched the weather forecast, you know there's no safe bet on it. Yet, that is what these market speculators are doing, jacking up the price for beans on long contracts that are just shy of the all-time record. And it really doesn't have to do with confidence in that dry weather so much as it has to do with the market conditions now. Up until recently, the dollar was strong, oil and the Dow Jones were weak. This put many traders in the farm commodity business who don't really care what happens with the crop. All they know is the economy seems to be turning the other way right now, with the Dow and oil gaining traction. And if it keeps going that way, we will very likely see a lot of these long positions being sold to put money back into the stock market. The bottom line is we've yet to see fundamentals such as weather and supply really control the market this year so far. The one time they may do so is more on that June 30th report from the USDA, where a number of traders are predicting a big turnaround in the markets, especially if we see a big shift from acres and from corn into beans. And guys, of course, you know that La Nina, we don't know if it's going to materialize. And the big thing is the price right now of soybeans is based on that 82 million acre soybean figure. So it's if we have 82 million acres, if a La Nina pattern emerges, and if it's dry in August and September, then we may see a reduction in yield. That's a lot of factors that may not come into play.
Yeah, I don't know that I'd want to be an economist working on that equation. It's just a little too much in the way of variables.
Yep, sure is.
Thank you very much, Neil Malawsaw. Well, that does it for this edition of TWILA. Over the next 3 weeks, we'll bring you encore episodes of TWILA. That's because I'll be off to Washington, D.C. on assignment. Then we'll be in New Orleans for the 94th annual meeting of the Louisiana Farm Bureau Federation. Then it's the 4th of July weekend, so we're going to spend some much-needed time with our families. I hope you understand.
During that time, we'll be posting to social media a lot, especially during the Farm Bureau Convention. So to keep up with what we're doing, follow us on Instagram and Twitter and like us on Facebook. Of course, you can watch all of our stories online on our website, twilatv.org.
For all of us here at TWILA, thank you for joining us. We hope to see many of you in person at the LFBF Convention.